I need you to pay attention to what I'm about to tell you because this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in sports. 80,000 fans in Miami created a moment so powerful that it changed Messi forever. They waited 3 hours, and what happened next will give you goosebumps. This happened on March 15th, 2024, after Inter Miami's match against Nashville SC. The game ended 2-1, Messi scored both goals, and everyone expected the stadium to empty like normal. But something unprecedented was about to unfold. As players headed to the locker rooms, not a single fan moved from their seats. 80,000 people just sat there. Security guards were confused. What were they waiting for? At first, nobody understood what was happening. The stadium lights started dimming, the cleaning crew came out, but the fans wouldn't budge. Some security guards approached the crowd to ask them to leave, but the fans showed them something on their phones. When the guards saw it, they immediately called their supervisors. What did those fans show them that changed everything? Within minutes, word spread through the stadium staff. The cleaning was put on hold. The lights were turned back on. Even the players who had already showered were called back. Messi was in the team bus about to leave when his bodyguard rushed to him with urgent news. But here's what nobody expected. When Messi heard what was happening, he did something that shocked even his own teammates. But before I reveal Messi's incredible reaction, let me tell you what these 80,000 fans had been planning for weeks, because what they were about to do had never been attempted in football history. It started with a single post on social media 3 weeks earlier. 3 weeks before this match, a 12-year-old Miami fan named Sofia Rodriguez posted a video on TikTok. She was crying because her father, a construction worker, couldn't afford Messi's jersey for her birthday. The video showed her wearing a homemade Messi shirt made from a white t-shirt and markers. "I just want to show Messi that poor kids love him too," she said through tears. That video got 50 million views in 48 hours. Thousands of fans were moved by Sofia's story. They started organizing something incredible. Every fan who had ever felt left out, every parent who struggled financially, every kid who dreamed of meeting their hero, they all came together with one mission. They secretly coordinated to stay after the match for exactly 3 hours. But why 3 hours? And what were they planning to do during that time? But the real magic happened when Messi realized why they had been waiting. His reaction in the next 30 seconds is something you need to see to believe. When Messi's bodyguard told him about the fans, his first reaction was concern. "Are they protesting? Are they angry about something?" he asked. His bodyguard showed him the TikTok video of Sofia. Messi watched it 3 times. Those who were there say they'd never seen Messi so emotional. He immediately asked his driver to turn the bus around. But when he got back to the stadium and saw what was actually happening, he broke down completely. Here's what those 80,000 fans were doing during those 3 hours. Each person had brought one item of clothing, a shirt, a scarf, anything. They were cutting them into small pieces and weaving them together into the largest jersey ever made. 80,000 pieces of fabric from 80,000 different fans, all connected. But that wasn't even the most incredible part. In the center of this massive jersey, they had sewn in Sofia's original homemade shirt. When Messi walked back onto that field and saw 80,000 people working together in complete silence, creating something beautiful for a little girl they'd never met, he couldn't hold back his tears. But what he did next is why this moment will be remembered forever. He didn't just wave or say thank you. He grabbed a microphone and made an announcement that left everyone speechless. What Messi said next changed not just that night, but the entire culture of football fandom. His words were so powerful that they're now displayed at the entrance of every MLS stadium. Messi's voice was shaking as he spoke. "I've won every trophy in football, but I've never won anything as beautiful as this. You didn't just make a jersey tonight. You showed me what football really means. It's not about the money, the fame, or the trophies. It's about bringing people together." He paused, looking at the massive jersey still being worked on. "Sofia, if you're watching this, I want you to know that your homemade shirt is more valuable to me than any official jersey ever made." But then Messi announced something that nobody saw coming. "I'm donating my entire salary from this match to create the Sofia Foundation, to make sure no child ever feels left out of." For the first time in stadium history, 80,000 people began crying at the same time. The sound was indescribable, a mixture of joy, gratitude, and pure emotion. Security cameras captured everything. Videos of grown men sobbing while still weaving fabric pieces went viral worldwide. Children who had stayed up past their bedtime were hugging strangers. But the most beautiful moment was yet to come. Because little Sofia Rodriguez was actually in that stadium. And when Messi called her name, what happened next defied every rule of physics and emotion known to mankind. Sofia had been hiding in the crowd with her father, who had worked double shifts for 3 weeks to afford tickets. When Messi called her name, 80,000 people formed a human corridor, lifting her up and passing her from hand to hand until she reached the field. The image of this little girl floating above the crowd, surrounded by thousands of helping hands, became the most shared photo in sports history. When Sofia finally reached Messi, he knelt down and whispered something in her ear that only she could hear. Later, she revealed what he said. "Your homemade jersey taught me that the best things in life can't be bought. They're made with love." He then gave her his match-worn jersey and asked her to give him her homemade one. They exchanged jerseys right there on the field. That night changed everything. The Sofia Foundation has since provided over 100,000 jerseys to underprivileged children worldwide. That massive crowd-made jersey is now the centerpiece of the FIFA Museum. But most importantly, it started a movement called 3 Hours of Love, where fans around the world organize acts of kindness that last exactly 3 hours. The same amount of time those Miami fans waited. The security footage from that night shows something that still gives me goosebumps. As the crowd finally started to leave the stadium at 2 a.m., every single person stopped at the same spot where Messi and Sofia had exchanged jerseys. They touched the ground, many of them crying as if they were touching sacred ground. Because in a way, they were. 6 months later, Sofia Rodriguez threw the first pitch at a Miami Heat game, wearing Messi's jersey. Her father was promoted to supervisor at his construction company after his story went viral. And Messi? He kept Sofia's homemade jersey in his bedroom next to his World Cup trophy. Because sometimes the most valuable things in life are made by the smallest hands with the biggest hearts. That's the power of 80,000 people who chose to wait, to love, and to believe in something bigger than themselves.